What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to get this super simple fall makeup look. If you aren't already, hit that subscribe button and let's get on with the video. I wish I could be one of those girls that can just clip their hair back and be cute, but I'm not. I have to have my hair up or put a headband on to do my makeup because I need the whole 5 head covered in foundation. So I did my brows off camera, and I think I'm gonna do a more in-depth brow tutorial for you guys because I'm very picky about my brows. I'm just putting on the No Problem primer, and I put this on before my foundation just to kind of hide the pores. So I'm actually gonna start with my eyes since I wanna do a winged liner. So for my eyelids, I'm going to be using the Anastasia eye primer. This is just a little sample that I got with a Sephora package. If you don't have eye primer, that's okay. Concealer works just as well. That's what I normally use. So I use the sponge from e.l.f. It's basically like a beauty blender, but 10 times cheaper. So I highly recommend, and I'm just blending the primer into my eyelids. I like using a sponge better than a brush because the brush are just super streaky on my skin. I don't know if that's just because I don't have super expensive brushes or because I'm not applying it correctly, but I just like the sponge a lot better. So I actually go in and set my eyes before putting eyeshadow on, and I'm just using the Coty Airspun powder, which you can get at like a Walmart or a Walgreens, and it's a super good setting powder. Okay, so once my eyelids are set, I go in with my eyeshadow, and I'm using the Ace Beauty palette to start. We're going to be using a couple different palettes, but I like this shade, Patchouli. It's like a yellow neutral kind of shade, so I'm going to use this as my transition shade. So for those of you who don't know, a transition shade is basically like the neutral shade that you start with kind of above your eyelids, and then you work with like deeper colors under them and kind of blend them together. And as you can see, I just go back and forth in like a windshield wiper motion. So as you can see, the color is pretty faint, but it's just a nice transition for whenever I go in with deeper colors. So next I'm going to use Cinnamon from that same palette. And I'm kind of going under the transition shade, and I'm going in super light because you have to watch with these deeper colors that you don't put too much on, because once you put too much on your eyelid, it's super hard to blend. So it's easier to start off light and then blend your way through. And toward the edges of my eyelid, I kind of go in this circular motion just to blend it with the transition shade. I'm also tapping off excess product because, like I said, we don't want to pack on too much of this color, and then we're kind of screwed with blending. So now going in with the Pure Festival palette, and I'm going to be using this darker shade, which is called All Night. So I'm using like a smaller packing kind of brush because I want to tap this product into the edges of my eyes to give my eyes like a wider look. You still want to go light since it is a darker color, and if you're not the best at blending like I am, you don't want to kind of screw yourself over. So I just tap the product really light on the edges of my eyelids. And then I take that same brush that I was blending all the colors in with and blend this in. So now I'm going to take a flat brush, go into the shade Free Spirit. It's like a shimmer shade. And I'm going to just pack that on the middle of my lid. So now I'm going to go in with a flat line brush and just dip my brush into a black shadow. And that's how I do my eyeliner. My hands are super shaky, so I can't use an actual like liquid eyeliner. So I just stamp on black eyeshadow across my eye. If you struggle and your hands are shaky too, try doing this because this is the easiest way that I can get liner on my eyes. So after I stamp on the black eyeshadow as liner, I just go in with a makeup wipe or a baby wipe, whatever you have that won't irritate your skin. And I just swipe under it to make it more clean and to make the line a lot straighter. If you're not the best at blending your eyeshadow either, the wipe always helps because if you go a little crazy with your eyeshadow, you can just fix that super easy. So now that I'm done with my eyes, I'm going to go into my face. And today I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Flawless Satin Foundation, and this is in the shade 210, which is natural. So this shade doesn't match me the best, but you gotta work with what you have sometimes. So since this shade is a little bit too dark for me, I kind of blend it down to my neck. This just makes it kind of blend with your skin a little bit better rather than having that super harsh line of foundation, and you just can see the difference that it doesn't really match your real skin tone. Also, this outfit shows my entire chest, so it's super obvious with this outfit. But once I put like a normal t-shirt on or a sweater, you won't be able to see it as much. So after I put my foundation on, I normally set my forehead right away because when I talk, my facial expressions cause me to have like wrinkles in my forehead, and that can crease if you leave your foundation wet. So I try to set my forehead pretty quickly. Next, we are going in with concealer, and today I'm using the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer. I like my concealer brighter than my foundation because I like having that brightening under eye effect. However, be cautious and don't go too bright because then when you take photos with the flash, you might look a little crazy. So once I do my under eyes, I go in with concealer on the bridge of my nose and then on my chin. And that's just brightening the center of your face. You have to work pretty quickly with this concealer because it dries fast. If you're wondering why I'm like pounding my face. So now that I'm done with all of the wet products on my face, I can put my setting powder on my sponge and just set this concealer in. Some people bake, which means you would just like leave this powder sitting here for a short period of time. But when I do that, I have way too bright of an under eye. And like I said earlier, it kind of makes you look crazy in photos. So I just blend mine right away. So once I'm done doing that, I just take like a fluffy brush and lightly brush setting powder all over my skin because I don't like having wet foundation. My skin is pretty oily, so I like having a lot of powder to make sure that that's set in place. So now we're gonna contour, and I'm using the Tarte Amazon Clay Matte Bronzer. So this is a darker shade, so I just use contour for this, and then I bronze with a lighter shade. So basically you just contour where your cheekbones kind of start. So if you suck in your face, you can kind of see that line right here, and that's where you want to contour. This just kind of gives you like that chiseled look, makes your face look a little bit slimmer, and it really looks nice on a side profile. When you do contour, make sure you're not bringing it all the way down here because it's just going to look a little bit creepy. I add blush as well as bronzer, so you should only be putting that like from the apples of your cheeks back. So don't bring your contour down too close to your mouth. So for my bronzer, I'm going in with the Wander Beauty. This is called Trip to Costa Rica. And this looks crazy light, so when I first got this, I was like, what the heck? But it is actually like the perfect shade for my skin tone. I was going way too dark before, so this was like a little check yourself kind of moment. And with bronzer, I just go in like a circular motion, make the bronze look very natural on my cheekbones. I also go in on my forehead. This kind of just gives you the illusion that your forehead is smaller than it is. As you guys can see, Sit's got a 5 head over here, so I'm trying to slim this thing down. And then finally, I just go under my jaw. So this also just gives you that more chiseled jaw kind of look. So if you want your contour to look super snatched, you can just go in with some of that setting powder that you used earlier and make a light line and let it sit there for a little bit. That will just make the line a little bit more harsh. And if you got a little messy with your contour, that's okay because this can cover it up pretty well. So while that is setting, I'm gonna go in with some blush. I am using the Laura Geller New York. It is called Blush and Brighten Tropic Hues. So this does have a little bit of a shimmer to it, but I like that because then it makes the highlight kind of blend a little bit more naturally. And if you're not sure where to put blush on, you just kind of need to like give an awkward smile to your mirror and you'll see like the apples of your cheeks, and that's where you apply the blush. And I also just bring that back up to my bronzer just to blend that and make it seem seamless on the skin. I used to not be a blush kind of person, but I realized that it just brings so much life to your skin. Like with just contour and bronzer, my skin looks super dull. And I add some blush and I feel alive. Especially in the fall, things are just neutral, so you want to bring some life into your face. So now we can just brush that extra setting powder off under our contour and see how the lines just look a bit more harsh. That's if you want it to be like a very chiseled look. Now I'm going to go in with a highlight, and I'm using the Artist Couture. This is in the shade Purple Dream. So this is their Diamond Glow Powder. I think I only used this once, so I'm excited to try it again. So I'm going to go in with a more condensed brush because we just want to highlight a specific part of our skin. You don't want to get too carried away with the highlight. Actually, you know what? If you do, I'm not stopping you. You can never have too much highlight, but I want mine to be pretty precise, so I'm using a smaller brush for that. And I'm just patting that on the highlights of my face. Yeah, this is very good. This is super glowy. It does have like a purpley tint to it, but I don't mind. I kind of love it. So I'm also going to take this super little brush and I'm going to put highlighter in the corners of my eyelids. And like I said, how I was using a darker shadow and a wing liner just to make my eye look a little bit wider, the highlighter does the same thing. It just kind of draws attention to the center of your face and also makes your eyes look a little bit wider. Here I am saying don't go too buck with the highlighter, and I'm putting it all over my face. It's fine. I almost forgot to contour my nose, and that's like a super big thing for me. So funny story, I broke my nose in, I think fourth grade I broke my nose. I was way too hyped for recess, and me and my friend were running full speed, and we both tripped over each other. He hit his head off a chair, I broke my nose. So my nose is crooked, as you guys can see. So contouring my nose helps a little bit with making it straighter, but my nose is crooked and there's just nothing I can do about it. Only me, man, I swear. So just like how we did with under my contour, I am going to put setting powder along the edges of the contour on my nose. So this just makes those lines a little bit more harsh and sets that into the skin. And I just leave that on for a couple minutes and then brush it off. It looks so weird. So I'm going to put mascara on, and I don't usually use fake eyelashes. I'm just so bad at putting them on. It takes me like 15 minutes a lash. And I think honestly that's just because I don't do it enough. I'm sure if you keep practicing it gets easier, but I just don't really go anywhere that I need to wear fake lashes. So mascara girl over here. The mascara I am using is the CoverGirl Super Sizer. So this is a drugstore mascara, and I think drugstore mascaras are so good. Like there's no need to spend a crazy ton of money at Sephora for a mascara because the drugstores got the goods. So lastly, we are doing lipstick. And I really don't put lipstick on. I'm more of like a lip gloss, kind of natural look kind of gal. But for the fall, I like having a little bit of color on my lips. So I'm debating on if I want to use the Smashbox or the Ofra. So I don't know. I'm going to swatch and then we'll decide. So the darker one is the Smashbox, and then this lighter one is the Ofra. And I don't know. I think we're going to go in with the Ofra. So I have like no lips. So we pack it on. We overline the lips like crazy over here. And lastly, I'm just going to go in with a spray. Since I put, please hold. Since I just put a lot of powder on my face, I like to go in with the spray at the end to not only set my face, but to kind of give me some moisture and hydration back. This is the final look. I hope this makeup tutorial helped you guys. I really tried to explain the steps as I was going through my face. I think this is a super natural look for the fall, and hopefully you guys try it out. If you're not already, subscribe to my channel. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We're at about 200 right now, but I have big goals, big dreams. So let's get to 1,000, and I will see you in the next video. See ya.